Well, it's me and I'm in love again.
Is that right, huh? So,
Welcome back.
What's up?
what's up?
My eyes watering.
Welcome to Elvis Fans Matter. And here we are, as crazy as we always are, and,
We always had silly
and are, and more R's.
and will be and have been and
Alrighty, head us up.
More questions.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Did Elvis know that Lisa cussed or said nasty stuff to any of the fans?
Why, hell yeah.
yes, he did. Elvis just
No.
Elvis
No.
thought she was hilarious
She didn't cuss around him,
that much.
and nobody squealed on her.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, but she
Well,
didn't.
she did
cover
once.
it
She
up
did
or-
once, and it was a little story. And I'll tell you, because he was,
Oh,
y'all-
yeah, I know what you're
you know
talking
what I'm
about.
talking about.
Yeah, she was just repeating.
yeah, but she was repeating what he said. But he was looking in the mirror, and he was getting dressed, and we're going out somewhere, and he looked in the mirror, and he said, I'm so sick of this. He said, I am so effing fat.
Yeah.
And she said, Daddy, you're not effing fat. He said, oh,
Lisa.
Lisa, don't say what Daddy says. Daddy can say it, but Lisa cannot say that. But Lisa did say that.
Probably more often.
Yeah, Lisa was
Probably more often.
Yeah,
than he
that wasn't
did,
the
right?
first time she had
We
said it.
we were all downstairs in the dining room one night playing cards. We were getting ready to leave to go somewhere. I don't know if it was up for tour or what, but we were waiting for Elvis to come down. And Lisa had just gotten a puppy, a little puppy, and we heard her scream out and said, "I'm going to tell my daddy on you." And of course it was Lamar. And Lamar said, why? I didn't do anything. And she said, you stepped on my puppy. You tried to kill my puppy. And he came in there. You had to know
He
Lamar
said,
and how I didn't step on her damn puppy. He said, I don't care what. She said, going up there, he said, there she goes, the little Fuhrer. That's what he called her. He'd stomp his foot and go, the little Fuhrer. He said, there she goes, tell her daddy. I didn't step on her puppy. He said, if I hadn't stepped on that damn dog, it wouldn't have been nothing left but a grease spot and a few hairs. And he said, well, I don't care if she tells him. She said, he said, just if he calls down, I'm going to tell him this. I'll just tell him this. I'll tell him that. And about the time the intercom rang, and Lamar and Red said, "There's your chance, Lamar. Go tell
Here's your
him."
chance.
We were sitting there, and Lamar picked up the intercom in the kitchen. And he was going, "But well, I didn't." Okay. And he hung it up. He came in here and said, "Oh, damn it." He said, there she goes. He said, she went and told I stepped on her puppy. I didn't step on her puppy. She did that to you.
Yeah, I would run over my
And
toes
everybody
with
else's.
with a tricycle. And I grabbed it. When I grabbed it, she snatched and she fell over. And I turned loose and she fell over. And oh boy, you turned me over. You pushed me over. I'm going to tell my daddy.
Up the steps she
And up the steps she went to tell her daddy.
Billy pushed me over on my tricycle. Elvis was dying laughing.
He was.
What'd you push her over her tricycle for? Billy said, do what? Lisa said you pushed her over on her tricycle. And Billy said, yeah, ask her why I grabbed her tricycle. She was running over everybody's toes down there. She had a tricycle that the front wheel was about that big old tricycle. And all the people that had come up that night, she was going through that swinging door from the kitchen to the dining room, and she'd make the turn and just mash the hell out of their feet. She did it to Billy, and he grabbed her, and like he said, she jerked it back, and she turned over, so she went to tell. I'm going to tell.
All right. Another question says, if Elvis had lived, what do you think that he would have had the grandkids call him?
Boss.
I don't know. That's a good one.
That's a good question.
Uh,
It wouldn't have been Grandpa.
no.
I don't know.
let's see, maybe I don't know, maybe Papa Elvis or something like that. I have no idea.
I can't imagine him. I can't see him as a grandfather.
That's a good question.
It
That's
is
a
a good
real
question.
good
I
question.
just don't know
It's
how
something
to
to think
answer.
about.
Yeah.
Something to think about. And
Probably E or EP or
EP or GEP for Grandpa Elvis.
Mhm.
Yeah. Here's an idea in the comments on this video. Y'all answer that question and put in there. We'd like to see what you come up with. What you think Elvis would have had his his grandchildren call him. Because I kind of like to. It's a good question. I'd like to see. So in the comments, y'all put what you think. Another question is, was Elvis's hair ever naturally wavy like his daddy's? Or was his hair always straight?
No, his hair was pretty much always straight.
Always straight?
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't have curly hair.
Curly hair.
I can remember ever.
Does either side of Elvis's family, either Vernon or Gladys, or both, have any Native American bloodlines? And if so, what kind?
Well, yeah, he had Indian blood in him. He's Cherokee.
Cherokee.
Yeah, and of course,
Oh, your side.
you could tell that because
Right.
he stayed on the warpath all the time.
Now the Cherokee was on the Smith
Gladys's.
side.
Smith side.
What about on the Presley side?
I have really no idea.
idea.
I don't know either.
I think probably Apache. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I don't know, but Cherokee definitely was because
Yeah, Cherokee.
there
But
was
I would think it'd be Cherokee on
well
the side.
one of the great
On both sides.
great grandparents was it Mourning Dove?
Great
Great maybe.
Great.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Okay.
Somebody put a picture of an Indian woman and said it was.
That was not.
It wasn't.
But
It was not her picture.
But you could tell. I've seen pictures of Robert and Doll, and you could definitely tell.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Robert, he had the high cheekbones.
Very nice
And
looking.
he was a
man.
nice looking man, but you could tell that somewhere down the line there was
And
Native
also,
American.
Yeah,
if you ever knew Billy's daddy, Travis, he was real dark complected.
Dark complected, and his cheekbones were
and
high.
his cheekbones were high. And let's say, and Cletus, Patsy's mother, was like that.
all of them were
Real dark eyes.
Real-
Lillian, Aunt Lillian, the
Had
only ones that
high
were
cheekbones.
Uh-huh.
But
the only ones that had light hair. They all had real dark hair too, black hair, except Lavelle and Tracy.
Mhm.
Johnny was real dark complected and black hair. Every one of them were like that.
Yep.
But as far
But
as
it-
type, it's Cherokee.
Yeah, Cherokee.
But his father had high cheekbones too.
Yeah,
You know,
he did. So they may have had Indian
It was-
blood
yeah.
too, but it was
That's what I'm kind of.
it would probably have been Cherokee too.
Okay. Was it true that Elvis suffered a head injury in 1967?
Yes. What had happened? He had gone into the bathroom to take a shower, and he had slipped in the shower and fell back, and he hit his head on
Tile, ceramic.
yeah, and it gave him concussion.
Concussion.
And that's when I stayed in the room with him for about a week, and I think that's when
His
the contract of
50%.
50%. I think that's when that came in.
That's when
Because
Colonel visited.
With
Carl
Carl.
came up, about I don't know about the next day, I think, or something, and there was I had to leave the room. They had asked me to leave the room, but I could hear some very loud talk, and some, you could tell there was some arguing, and stuff like that.
So it's very possible that his head injury was maybe taken advantage of.
Yeah, well, yeah, because he was filming and it threw production behind
Right.
him.
Mhm.
So, you know,
And he might have said he would say it was for another reason or something like that too. Colonel
well,
got
Colonel covered it. I don't know how, but he covered it, you know, and that's, but anyway, that was during that time. And I know he was still trying to lose weight.
Well, that's
And
what
we
I was.
were,
That's what I was asking when I said that, just to clear it up. Was
yeah.
do you said about the 50% contract and stuff? I was saying, do you think it's possible that Colonel, and I hate to say it, but that Colonel was maybe taking advantage of his situation, his head injury and stuff? Was that what you were saying? That
well,
maybe
he could have.
maybe he coerced him to
Yeah.
into something just.
Yeah, could be.
Okay. I just
you
wanted
really
to clear
don't
that
know.
up because I knew it would come
I wasn't
up.
in there. I didn't hear all the conversation.
Right,
But
still.
I know afterwards he is, you know.
He was in a
he
mood.
He was in a
Mhm.
mood, and that damn Colonel this, you know, Colonel that, but he never did. One thing they never did is talk about business.
Talk about business
In front of
around
outside of.
anybody except themselves.
And that's, I
now-
understand that.
A lot of times Tom Diskin had, you know, had privilege of, you know,
Being with him.
being with them, but most of the time it was just Colonel and Elvis, you know, when it come to business.
I mean, I understand that.
And-
I mean,
but,
when it's your manager and
I know I got tired of eating cube
Cube
Young.
steak,
bouillon,
bouillon. Oh,
beef
God.
bouillon and chicken bouillon. That's, you know.
What, did he try to make you lose weight because he was trying to?
I guess.
and I was like, what are you talking?
Yeah, when you drop it in a damn glass of water, you know.
And dissolve it. It's
Oh,
like,
that was-
those
You
cubes
heated
that
up,
looks like
yeah.
sugar cubes, but it's beef.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
That's like hospital food to me,
Yeah, and,
like
you know,
broth.
if I suffer, you suffer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know, misery loves company, so he had to have somebody stick.
I
with
know,
him.
and that was the miserablest sucker there ever was. No, we
He
had-
was not.
We actually, and
Probably did a lot of talking and
talking and carrying on, and you know, yeah.
Well,
I'll
speaking
let
of
that-
that, somebody said, did Elvis ever comment on how good looking he was?
oh,
Well, let me see.
not yeah, but hell yeah.
We was up in his room, and all back behind his bed there's
Mirrors.
glass mirror and all, and
That was after coming from the theater when that woman made him mad. Remember?
yeah. I remember.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Anyway, we were up in this room, and he was ranting and raving a little bit, but he was looking at himself in that glass, and he said,
He was up in the middle of the bed walking.
mm-hmm. And he kept saying, you know, damn, I'm a good-looking son of a, you know what? And he kept doing that and kept doing that.
I know it.
I thought, you know what? He's right, but God Almighty. So in a minute, he kept saying that, and I started saying, yeah, two in the same family. And he just kind of looked at me and kept walking and ranting, and then looking at it. Damn. You know, he said, that's true. I am one good-looking son of a God.
Look at this
I said,
profile.
Yeah, I said, look at my profile and all that. And I said, yeah, two in the same family. And he said, what in the hell are you talking about? I said, well, think about it. I said, here you are, a music icon and me a sex symbol. He said, and he picked up something and threw it at
He
me.
did.
Silly.
You marble-eyed little silly son. All of our sessions were silly silly things.
We'd get around to being silly, yeah.
He loves silly jokes.
Yep.
Just silly jokes, like the time he was going to tell that joke to somebody, and he thought it was so funny, and it was so silly. It was just a silly joke. And the joke was, how can you tell if there's an elephant in your car? And the answer was, you could smell the peanuts on his breath. Well, Elvis got real excited. He would do that. He got excited about it, and he ran up to tell him. He said, how can you tell if there's a peanut in your car?
And they all kind of
looked, and he went.
And then he just turned around and walked off.
Walked off. Hell with it, he said.
Blew that one off.
Yeah. Maybe I was thinking maybe at the question and answers, I'll think of the one that was so funny to me.
All right. Joe, did your parents ever get a chance to meet Elvis, and what was that like?
They did. My daddy, of course, my daddy, you know, he was a real big man, and he always said, well, it wouldn't bother me a bit to meet him. Billy said, well, I want y'all to meet him one day. So it just so happened that
no, he said, I'll invite him in.
I'll invite him in for coffee, and he did. But it just so happened that Elvis was out riding, and Priscilla knew how to get to our house because she used to come out and stay with me a lot at our little shack house. Instead of the big mansion up there that she could stay in, she'd come out and stay with me while they were gone during the movie days. And she had gotten Elvis. Was she the one that got him that black Cadillac convertible for something? Anyway, that's what they came out in. They were in a convertible.
That's when he bought all of us a convertible.
Yeah, and
Cadillac convertible.
He came out, and they pulled up and stopped, and my daddy was coming up the hill, and so Billy called him over to meet him, and Daddy, you know, shook hands with him and invited him in for coffee and all that, but he was a nervous wreck. Just, you know, stared. He was in awe. Yeah, he was. He just stared. You know, you couldn't help but stare.
At first, he just, you know, he just looked.
That's.
And he said, "How you doing, Mr. Norris?" And he just looked. He said, "Nice day," and all that. And he said, "Oh, yeah." He said, "Yeah. Would y'all like to come in for some coffee and all that?" "No, thank you, sir. I don't think we will.
We're just out
riding around. We got somewhere to go, and we wanted to get Billy and Joe to go in their car and follow us."
Because he had just given us that gold Eldorado Cadillac convertible. And what was so funny, they came by one day, and my mother and my aunt were out working in the flowers, and they had on, like, you know, just old shorts and t-shirts, and they were out digging, and they drove up, and they cut out running to the house, and Elvis said, "GD," he said,
"I've had them run."
He said, "I've had them running toward me, but I've never had them running away from me before."
Hey, what was it? Mama and Aunt Joe?
Mama and Aunt Jean.
Aunt Jean.
They were,
okay.
They didn't want him to see them like they wanted to the rest of it. So he said, "I've never had them run away from me before." But yeah, I used to have two sisters, and they used to go to the movies and stuff like that with us when we would go.
Fairgrounds and stuff.
Yeah, fairgrounds and stuff like that. But and they would come up to Graceland to see us, and when we lived up at Graceland and stuff like that.
All right.
Oh, my goodness. I am having a cramp in my leg.
I was wondering because you've stomped my foot about 4 times.
In your leg?
Yeah, my leg. All right, we'll try to get through this.
We're old and of age.
All right.
Let's see. That is about it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, on all the questions. We've done quite a few videos. I've had several ask and say, would you please tell the badge story? So is that something you want to fit in here, or do you want to wait? That's up to you.
Well, The bad story, I'll have to wait.
Okay.
I gotta do my research.
Okay.
Quit. I gotta do my research and remember exactly how it came about.
Is your leg still cramping?
Yeah, it's cramping. All right.
Well, with the leg cramps, we can wrap.
I have got a leg cramp
A
band.
Charlie horse. Well, we'll wrap
But anyway,
up leg cramps and
anything
Elvis fans matter.
That was fantastic. Oh, golly. I got to stand up.